One.
Estate show. Today, I've got an awesome member of mine, Mr. Mike Burge, longtime Craig Proctor member, formerly from Naples, Florida, and he's recently moved over the last couple of years to Chattanooga, Tennessee. So, Mike, we're going to talk about that today. That's very interesting that you're able to pick up your business and completely move it to a new marketplace. Most agents are like, how do I get started? Well, you've done that a couple of times in completely different marketplaces. So we're going to talk about how you're successfully able to be able to pick up your business and move it wherever you want to live. But first of all, good day to you. And thank you so much for doing this interview with me.
No, thank you for inviting me. It's always great to talk with you. And I always get insight no matter what we're talking about my real estate business. And it's great to be here.
Well, you're a super cool guy, and I consider you a friend. When I would do conferences down in Naples, you'd always come out and support us and do a great job. And you've been so successful with the Craig Proctor system, and so giving of your time, helping other people be successful as well. And that's why you've got a great business. How did you and I first meet? I mean, you've got an interesting backstory. Because share everybody how you got into real estate and what you were doing prior to being a realtor.
So probably like most people, I fell into real estate. It's not usually something that people say, hey, when I grow up, I want to be a real estate agent. You kind of fall into that category. And my wife was a real estate agent, and she wasn't really using it. She was doing other things with it. And I decided, that would be something I'd like to do. I had been a tennis pro for 25 years and taught tennis, played collegiate tennis, played junior tennis. Pretty much all I knew was just a jock that played tennis and taught people how to play. So,
but you're being at that high level in tennis, you're a competitive person, right? So when you got into real estate, I'm sure a lot of those skills and being an athlete like that really helped you when you got into business, and you probably thought at the time, I know all these I don't know, rich people maybe in Naples that are playing tennis and they've been clients of yours, and so you had sort of a base maybe, or that's at least I believe what you thought. But when you got into real estate, I don't think that's where most of your business came from.
Well, yeah, that's exactly right. I taught at one of the most exclusive clubs in Naples, and I thought, that might carry over, but right. They always looked at me as like the tennis pro. Why would I handle their $1 million transactions? I was a tennis pro.
Right.
So it kind of didn't fall the way that I had hoped it might. But I had to do something different. So, and absolutely the tennis is carried over because I just love to win. To me, it's never been about making money or the money that always follows. It is winning, and doing more.
Tennis is such a mental game too.
Absolutely.
Mike, you probably heard me share this story. When I was a kid, I used to play tennis every day with two different guys, and one of the guys I played with, I could easily beat him, and I never got better playing with that kid. The other guy would kick my butt, and I got much better playing with him. So, but it is a mental game. The kid that was better than me, he would let me win, and then he would say, "Okay, I'm gonna switch it on to power mode now," and then he just kick my butt, right? And then mentally that would destroy me because I knew that he could, with the flip of a switch, he could mentally destroy me, and so all of this, everything that happens in our past, carries through to our business life, whether they be good experiences or bad experiences. So when you got into real estate, how did you get your business then? If you're thinking all these rich clients at this country club are now going to become my real estate clients, but as you said, they still see you as, well, Mike's he's the tennis guy, he's not the real estate pro. So right. How did you go about attracting clients?
So I had no idea. That was the issue. I had no idea where I was going to get clients from. So like I said, my wife had done some things. She threw me a buyer, and I ended up selling a house, and I had no idea, it just kind of fell to me. Made a little bit of money, and I figured I've got to do something different. I'm a tennis pro. I got to be a good tennis pro by Coaches got me there. Coaches pushed me through. So then I thought, well, what do I do here? I've got to go out and find a coach. So that's exactly what I did. After my very first transaction, I went out and I started looking up coaches, and there's a lot of them out there. But when I started,
you know that the qualification you need today to be a real estate coach is you simply say, I'm a real estate coach. With social media, like they're everywhere, right? On my newsfeed, they're everywhere. Everyone's a real estate coach. So, so why me? How did you find me?
So the weird thing about like what you just said with the real estate coaches is that some of them had never sold real estate. And that blew my mind that some people had never sold real estate.
That's the craziest BS by the way, that, that's something always, here I am 25 years in the business. A lot of you guys know my backstory. I was the #1 Remax agent within 3 years having my license. So like, I'm always a big believer that, your track record, doing the thing that you're talking about actually matters. But today, it's like my daughter said to me, she said, Dad, today, you go onto Instagram and the credibility is what people have, their nice car or whatever. But, back in our day, the credibility was, what have you actually done in this, in this world on that topic that you're, supposed to be an expert at. So how did you find me though? You're doing this search, and how did you come about, how did we connect?
So I just kept looking, for someone who had been there and done it. It was like me trying to coach tennis, but never have played. I mean, it's just a silly thought. So anyway, I kept searching, and I came across your stuff online that, where you had been the top Remax agent in the world, and you had done so many transactions. And I thought, well, this is the guy. I've got to find out more. I was in Naples, Florida. You were holding your next conference in Los Angeles, at downtown Los Angeles. And I thought, so I used my commission check from that, and I flew out to Los Angeles to go to a super conference, and it was.
So that was a leap of faith.
Oh, absolutely.
That was a leap of faith. So you had never, attended any of my events or anything before that. That was so you basically took a chance, flew out to California, attended the conference. So what happened there?
So it was kind of changing, because the first day was talking about things that I had never thought of, the way to approach marketing and the way to approach the business as a real estate agent. I thought as a real estate agent, my job was to go show houses and write contracts and stuff. I didn't realize how important the marketing and all of the building a business portion was. And that was what really came across in that. A guy that I sat next to at the conference, I'll never forget, he sat next to me. He's like, can you believe this? And I said, well, I can't believe this. And we kept going back and forth, and we're learning all this stuff together. He ended up being a coach for you one day. And it was just, we had learned together from all the stuff we had done there at the conference.
Well, it's really cool to hear that, as a real estate coach, that's what you want to happen. You want people to have epiphanies and take action, and, being able to watch your success in two different marketplaces. Like, tell us about how and why you decided to make the move from Naples, Florida to Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Sure. Well, in Naples, the business, like I said, I had only sold that one house. And then the next year I did about a little over 100,000 GCI, the next year 300, the next year 800, and then breaking the million mark after in my fourth year. And my wife and I had just decided that we had been in Naples a long time, and we were ready for some changes. We had some young kids. I don't know if you know this, but Southwest Florida isn't known for young people. It's more known for older people.
Yes.
So we wanted to do a little change, and we had a cabin here in Tennessee. So it was a
place you're aware of. You would visit it. You liked it. But hey, not too many realtors would leave $1 million business, because you're doing $1 million in commissions in Naples at this point. When you and your wife decide, okay, let's pick things up and move to Chattanooga.
Yeah. So what we did was we essentially sold the team. We sold database, all my processes, my business and everything. All of my outside sales agents, my inside sales agents all moved. And we, you know, sold a team. Now I didn't have a brokerage at the time. I just sold the team.
Well,
So
that's very important. That does everyone hear this? Mike was able to create a sellable asset. Most real estate agents aren't able to do that. Like for most real estate agents, if they were to move, that would be it. If they spent 10 or 15 or 20 years in that marketplace, all their goodwill, all their hard work would be kind of wasted. They wouldn't be able to sell it. It would just be like picking up and moving to a new marketplace, and all that effort would be wasted. Where you actually had a sellable asset, and you were able to rebuild in Chattanooga very quickly because you know how to already to do it.
right.
You know,
So
it's like before we got started here, I said, it's like, you know, these billionaires that you hear, they lose everything. And 2 or 3 years later, the billionaire has all their money back. Why? Because the person knew how to do it.
yeah, I kept an idea of all the processes and everything that we'd done. When I list a house, what happens? When a new buyer signs, what happens? All of those processes, really what the business is. It's a process of how to handle things, how to track things. That's what the business is all about. So keeping all that intact and being able to transfer that, it was not as hard.
Okay, so you start up again in a brand new marketplace. What were the very first things that you did? Because I assume it's the first things you did in Naples, or was there some learning that you did, doing it all over a second time?
Oh, there's definitely some learning. But I kind of attack things a little different here in Chattanooga because I had the experience. One of the things that I learned from you was the speed to implement. The speed to implement shows your success as an agent. The faster you can implement new things and get things rolling, the faster you grow. And for me to grow faster, I had to be not spending as much time with clients. So I decided to build the business a little more where I've got people helping me, and I've gone straight into the team, where before all I did was did it myself, and then I built from there. So took a little different of an attack at it. So I do have a couple of people that I work with, but mostly I have team members that help me.
So you're much better at delegating and moving yourself out of those activities faster.
Yes. And that allows me to build the business faster and to help more people.
Okay, now your team is expanding at a rapid rate. I want to explain how your entire team concept works. For those watching, pay attention to this, because if you were an outside sales agent at Mike's office, they don't give you leads, they give you actual appointments. So Mike takes care of all the lead generation. If you're on Mike's team, you wouldn't pay for any lead generation at all. Mike would take care of all of the marketing and the marketing costs. The leads would then go to the inside sales agents. The inside sales agents would call the leads, qualify the leads, and set up buyer appointments and listing appointments. And then you, as an outside sales agent, would go out to the appointments. The outside sales agents would go out to the buyer appointments and the listing appointments, but they're armed with Mike's presentations. So Mike, you spend a lot of time coaching and training your team members because you want what they want, right? You want them to be super successful. The more money they make, the more money you make. So a lot of your effort now is in recruiting and hiring and coaching up your team members so they're ultra successful.
Yes. And that's the main piece of my job now is yes, I do the marketing, and yes, I track all that, but coaching my team members is a big portion of it. And then making sure that I have enough, because when my team members come to me and they're like, oh, I've got too much going on, I know that I've got to go out and get more people to help, because I don't want to burn them out. I want them to be able to work at the amount of hours that they want to work. So
tell me the exact marketplace that you work in.
So I'm in the greater Chattanooga area, which is right on the border of Georgia. Literally from my house, I can throw a stone into Georgia. So I cover a lot of North Georgia, and Chattanooga area, as well as Cleveland, Tennessee. I'm originally from near Cleveland, Ohio, but I cover Cleveland, Tennessee. So yeah.
Well,
So
Cleveland's Cleveland.
it is.
Okay, so I want to give a shout out to anyone watching this who is in this marketplace, okay, greater Chattanooga. If you're a realtor in that area, you should reach out to Mike, at least have a conversation about partnering up with him. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Mike has already done it. Everything that you want to do in real estate, Mike is already currently doing. So if you'd like to join his team, either as an inside sales agent or an outside sales agent, I promise you two things would happen. If you would partner up with Mike, you would make more money net in your pocket, and you would spend less hours working. That's the real attraction of joining a high-level team like Mike's. Like, everybody wins. Not only is Mike able to leverage his business, but you, as a real estate agent, are able to make more money, enjoy what you're doing. I mean, think if you're an outside sales agent and you work with Mike, you don't have to be bothered with where the leads come in. You don't have to be worried about who's going to put up the sign or who's going to get the key cut, who's going to install the key box, who's going to make the feature sheets. You don't have to be bothered by any of that. Mike's administrative team takes care of all that. All you would have to do is go from listing appointment to listing appointment to list, and armed with the listing presentation that you're coached up on. Mike coaches you up on how to use it. So the more money you make as an outside sales agent, the more money that Mike makes. So really, all of the realtors that work with you, and they do work with you, not for you. I want to stress this is a real partnership here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you basically would have a business inside Mike's business is really how it works. If I was an outside sales agent in your team, I've kind of got my own little business inside Mike's business where he's supplying me with listing appointment after a listing appointment. So you should check it out. Again, if you're in the greater Chattanooga area, you should have a conversation with Mike. How would they best reach you, by the way?
Probably best to reach me by phone. You can reach me through the office number. It's 844 Nooga, Nooga home. Nooga home. So 844 Nooga home, and that'll dial directly into my cell phone, and I'd be happy to talk with about it.
I love that. I can even remember that 844 Nooga home. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Now, if you're not in the greater Chattanooga area, you're outside of that, anywhere else in the United States and Canada, and you want to learn more about how I can help you be the next Mike Burge, then you want to reach out to me. And what we'll do is we'll put into the comments, there's a link where you can book a call with me and my team. So below in the comments, we'll have a link. It's proctorcall.com. Pretty easy, right? My name, proctorcall.com. And you can go to my day timer and book a day and a time. And we have a 45-minute conversation about, hey, I'll listen to where you are in your business right now and where you want to go. And I give you my free advice on what I would do if I was you. And if hopefully if you really like our conversation, you might want to work closer with me. I would love that. And if not, you can take all my advice and continue, doing whatever you're doing. Now, Mike, you prepared a presentation about how you're making money on YouTube. And that's what we want to talk today about. Is we want to show you this presentation. I'm going to have Faith pop it up here now. And we're going to make this presentation available. We'll provide a link again in the comments below. If you wait to the end of our interview here, we'll make all of this available to you. So, Mike, let's talk about your success with YouTube and what we're going to learn here today.
So what I've done with YouTube is I've decided that I wasn't going to really spend money on YouTube. I was going to go out and organically try to build a YouTube channel and just by giving information. And that's exactly what we've done. I get about 1 to 2 phone calls a week from my YouTube channel. So that means people calling me saying, I watched you on YouTube, I'm thinking of moving to Chattanooga, or I watched you on YouTube, I'm thinking of listing my home. It's not they're very, very high level leads. Like, I want to meet with you, because YouTube does a great job of making people feel like they know you, because you're portraying your personality over to them, and they feel like they know you. So when they call you, it's instantly, I want to meet with you. I'm interested in buying, or I'm interested in selling. And I've built all of this in a very short period of time, and it's all organic. So basically, I'm not sure how much you want me to get into it, but
Let's quickly go through. Where the highlights are that we want to focus on today. Let's focus on some of the highlights in your PowerPoints. But again, we're going to make it available for everybody, so you can download this. We'll have a link in the comments below. But you can run the pace of this, Mike, and just tell Faith where you want us to go with this, and we'll hit the highlights.
Well, she's got it in a good place right now. It's in the beginning, I talk about just optimizing your YouTube channel. It's stuff that you can find anywhere on that, but how I did it. But this stuff right here, where we talk about the research, is the key to it all. So what I highly recommend is that you do all of the research before you decide on what video to shoot. You research on things that people are actually looking for, things that people want to know about. So picking a keyword, and this whole thing will walk you through exactly what to do. But picking a keyword is something that people might type into YouTube to
give us an example.
Moving to Chattanooga. On this presentation, that's the one I use. So moving to Chattanooga. So if somebody's thinking of moving to Chattanooga, that's probably what they're going to type into Google. And since Google owns YouTube, that's I usually come up with it. So here I go through all the research. If I type it in, what to look for. So how do I know, is moving to Chattanooga a good keyword or not? And it goes through how to research what the search volume should be. You don't want the search volume to be too high, because you can't rank, because too many people are trying to rank for that. So you want it to be a medium amount of search volume, and how much competition there is out there, and what the ratings are. So I kind of go through all that in here, of what the keywords are, and how to decide on what keywords to use. So usually at the beginning of the year, I'll go through and pick out 30, 40, 50 keywords that I want to do over the year. And I plot out my videos for the year. So just by doing that. So then after that, I'm going to take you through right here. I start through the step-by-step. So moving to Chattanooga TN is what I decided should be my keyword. And I put it right into the title. And you can see that video, if she clicks back one, that video had 19,000 views. So I had 19,000 people watch my video of, are you thinking of moving to Chattanooga, and why they should.
And this didn't cost you anything.
It didn't cost me anything at all. Nothing. So then I talk about how to choose the tags, and the tags are things that people type into YouTube to find me. So moving to Chattanooga TN, you can see that some of the moving to Chattanooga, Tennessee, I'm trying to cover all the different bases for that. And so I just keep coming up with different ideas and different thoughts on what the tags are. And I talk about all that. Then I take those tags and put them right into the description of the video. And that reinforces to YouTube that those are the things that I'm talking about. So by building that authority, then YouTube is seeing it as a value. And that's all YouTube wants, is they want the people that are doing a search to get what they're looking for. That's their goal. So as long as I'm delivering what people are looking for, then that's a good thing. Here I continue to talk about different things you have to do to optimize the videos, using end screens, using cards, so people can click through and visit my website, subscribe to my channel, watch other videos of mine. So using cards, doing and optimizing the videos. everything that you really need to do to push this forward. Thumbnails, you can see that I kind of use different poses of myself, and then I throw the titles into the thumbnails. And then transcribing, we transcribe the videos because YouTube wants to know what you're talking about. So they do the transcriptions, and that again shows the value to YouTube of what I'm talking about in my video, and make sure that I'm staying on topic. I'm not saying my topic is moving to Chattanooga and then I talk about something strange, talk about woodworking or something. It's just they know that I'm on topic. And then the different formats that how to put together the video. So using a teaser script, an intro, call to actions, and all that inside the video. So I basically lay out exactly what to do and how to make your video perfect. So
now, did you self-teach who taught you how to do this?
I have looked up under a lot of different people that go viral on YouTube and kind of put it together from different things that different people are doing. And then because they're not in real estate, I had to shape it toward real estate. So
now, would you classify yourself as a technical person? Was this easy for you to learn? I guess what I'm asking is this something that would be easy for most realtors to do what you're doing?
Yes, I would say very much, because it's technical to figure it out, but once you figure it out and I've laid it all out here, then anybody can really do it. It's actually pretty simple to do, to follow the formats. So my YouTube channel has absolutely just jumped. I normally get at least 1,000 views on all of my videos. I get calls off of it. Like I said, I get a couple calls a week of people thinking of buying or selling or whatever.
And how long have you been at this for? How long have you been really focusing on YouTube?
Probably about 6 months.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Some of the videos were a little bit older, but I went back and re-optimized them. When I learned how to optimize a video, I went back and redid them, and then they started to take off again. So the videos may look older, but the people have come in more recently.
All right. So this is a free approach. Doesn't cost Mike any money to do this. You've invested time to kind of figure this out. So let's say that you were talking to a realtor that had no presence on YouTube at all. Mm-hmm. How long would it take you to teach them how to do this in their marketplace?
Oh, 20 minutes, a half an hour?
Yeah, like really? The point I want to make, it's a hell of a lot easier to have someone, another realtor explain it to you than what you had to do going out and kind of figuring it out yourself from people that weren't in real estate.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, getting on a wheel that's rolling is much easier than getting it rolling.
Let us know in the comments below, folks, if you would like more training on this. Maybe Mike and I could we could do a presentation and get into more of the details. I mean, really, that's not the purpose of the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show podcast. My purpose here is to introduce you to realtors from all over the United States and Canada who are successfully using the system, and talk about briefly what their approaches are. But let us know in the comments if you'd like more detail, more training on how to do what Mike is doing on YouTube. And maybe we can set something up to help you out if that's something you're interested in.
Sure.
What else is working really well for you outside of YouTube right now?
Boy, we're seeing a lot of stuff through Google coming in. It's very Google. People are actually looking for homes when they go on Google. They're coming in that way. Referrals are coming in pretty strong. We actively go out and get referrals. So instead of sitting back and waiting for them to come to us, I'm actively going out and looking for referrals. Those sort of things are really working well.
What's your goal for this year? What would you like to like? What are your? I know you do a lot of planning at the beginning every year, just like you've talked about with your YouTube ads. I mean, you do all this planning way ahead of time, and you create your content in bunches. You'll do a whole bunch, and then that'll be good for months or for the whole year. You've got a business plan. What's your goal for this year?
Yeah, our goal for this year is to do $1 million in commissions. It is a major goal. It's a major undertaking, being that we've really been pressing this for the last about 6 months. So to be in the business in a new market
well, I'll tell you one bit of good news here, Mike, is you can do $1 million in commission because you've already done it in Naples, right? So, but that's pretty amazing because you haven't been in Chattanooga that long. So you got your business from the ground up. I mean, you go from being a tennis pro, brand new into real estate, been a Craig Proctor member all these years. You grow your real estate business up to $1 million in commissions. You're able to sell your business, move to a completely different state, new marketplace in Chattanooga. And here you are in a very short amount of time. And the goal this year is $1 million. So you're basically, it's like the whole move didn't happen. You're going to be at the end of the year, going to be back to $1 million in GCI, but you're in a brand new marketplace.
That's the goal. I mean,
theoretically, you could just keep doing this, right? You could say, okay, well, 2 years from now, we're going to go to California or wherever. You know how to build it, sell it, and build it again. What will be the keys now to get? What will be the things that you really need to be focusing on to reach that $1 million GCI mark by the end of the year?
For me, it's speed to implement, and I've mentioned it earlier, but it is getting all my systems and everything in place as fast as possible.
So what held you back on this speed to implement? So it's almost like now you've got this clarity, right? Like you've had this epiphany that, hey man, the thing that was holding me back in Naples was speed to implement. What kind of what changed it for you? We're like, okay, now I get it. Now I get it. That the real key to being $1 million or multi-million-dollar producer is to not be tied up into the minutia where you've got to get out of the way and implement things. Like anything that's in the way of you implementing that thing needs to go. Like you've had this epiphany, right? Like your eyes are wide open to this now.
Oh, absolutely. And it comes from other people that I interact with through you and through other agents that I've known through you, and seeing what they're accomplishing and how they're moving forward. And it's all the speed that they attack things is like nothing that you see at your local level.
That comes down to hanging out with people that are doing more than you, right? Like who we hang out with is so important. So you're hanging out with these other Craig Proctor members and you're seeing what they're accomplishing in a fast, very quickly. And because you know them, you're like, well, hey man, that guy's no different than, she or he, they're this, I know these people. And now you're watching their trend. Okay. They don't get in the way of themselves. They're very fast implementers. So you've learned to emulate what your friends are doing inside the Craig Proctor world.
Absolutely. It's just like your tennis guy. You playing against the guy that's better than you. You're learning from those people, and that it's exactly the same thing. I'm just learning from those people and pushing forward. And remember,
I thought I was learning, Mike, and then all of a sudden he'd say, "Okay, I'm going to flip the switch." And now he'd say this to me. He goes, okay, now I'm going to start trying. And it would mentally destroy me, right? Because even though I knew it's just words, I don't need to be destroyed. So a lot of our success is this mental game, right? So hanging around with, that's the other benefit of being a Craig Proctor member. And you've been such an awesome member for years, is becoming really best friends with other realtors that are doing the thing that you want to do. I mean, you've just mentioned a great example of, your epiphany is fast implementation. And really where you got that was not directly from me. It was indirectly through all the Craig Proctor members that you're hanging out with that are, I mean, we've got some great implementers, don't we? We've got some big thinkers.
It's incredible.
We've got members this year, last year, that did over $2 million a month.
Yeah. I saw one of the members just did $1 billion in sales last year.
Yeah. Incredible. That's
crazy.
That's like usually a career for a few realtors. and usually company volumes, brokerage volumes, not for realtors.
Right.
Okay, so what are you going to implement first then? So what? Tell us. Okay, your epiphany this year is I got to get out of my own way. I got to implement faster. When you say like get out of my way and I get out of my own way and I got to implement faster, give us examples of like stuff like I'm not going to do these things anymore and I'm instead going to focus on this and this and this.
Right. I've really limited. I definitely don't handle buyers at all. I handle a few sellers as of right now until I can get an agent that I'm comfortable handling sellers, so out of the way of dealing with the buyers and sellers right now so that I can help my people deal with buyers and sellers better. And
okay, everybody got with that one because that's a biggie right there. I know, Mike, I had to get to that point where like, I don't care if my mother's calling me wanting to look at a house or my best friend's calling me wanting to list their home. I'm not going to go do it because I want to focus on the rainmaker activity. So you basically have drawn a line in the sand and you're saying, look, I'm not going to get involved with buyers or sellers. I'm running the business. I'm focused on the marketing, the recruiting, the training, the coaching. That's what you need to focus on. And so, it's kind of crazy because I have realtors that will sit through our conference and they'll have this epiphany. They'll be like, so you're telling me that the way to become a multi-million-dollar agent is what you're saying is to not be an agent? Is that what you're saying, Craig? And I'm saying, yes.
Yeah. It's to be a business owner.
You have to be the business owner. Your function every day is providing buyer and listing appointments for your team. That's your function.
Yes.
Right.
And making sure that they can handle them so that they're trained enough to handle it.
Okay. That's the epiphany, folks. All right. So what else are you going to work on this year?
Continue to double. Double and double what we're doing, so we want to keep pushing everything forward. More leads, I'm always pushing to get more leads, more conversions, following my numbers. And I want to talk about,
okay, let's say I'm a realtor, I'm in your marketplace. Okay. And maybe I'm looking at you from the periphery. Like, I'm like, who is this Mike Burge guy? Like, this guy comes out of nowhere. I know he's from Florida. I see his success. I see his business growing. Maybe even some people watching this, like not only they know you, they envy you. Don't envy Mike. Join up with Mike. Don't compete with Mike. Join up with Mike. When they start with you, when a new realtor starts with you, you spend a lot of time with that orientation to guarantee they're going to be successful when they start with your team. Talk about the time that you put into like when someone says, okay, Mike, I believe in this. I see what you're doing. What happens when they start up with you?
Yeah, absolutely. The first thing we want to do is I want to establish where they want to go. What do they want? What's their heart's desire? That's our drive, is to let our agents accomplish what they want to accomplish. And once I know that, I can help them get there. If I don't know that, I don't know how to help them. So once we've established where they want to go, we have full training programs for them to go through on how to handle buyers, how to handle sellers, just an unbelievable amount of training that they're able to go through and to refer back to at any time, because you're going to find that, as I've done with your conferences and all that, you learn things as you go through, and they may teach the same thing again, but I learned different things because I'm now ready to hear it. So the training you can go back through, you can continue to reference it. And I have hundreds of hours of training for them to go through and to become what they want, on top of other agents that are willing to role play with them. And we're constantly trying to make them better at what they do. The better they are, the better our company is.
And you're doing weekly team meetings?
Weekly team meetings, but there's online training available 24/7.
Right. So you've got some super successful realtors that work with you. And Mike really wants everyone on his team to be successful. So he does put so much effort into, and that's why he's always learning and investing in himself, because he shares all of that learning and all that success that he's now had in two completely different marketplaces, right? Like, I want everyone to think about what Mike has pulled off here. No experience in real estate, Remember, he was a tennis pro in Naples, Florida. He built $1 million GCI business that he was able to sell. And then over the last couple of years, he started fresh in a brand new marketplace in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And now the big goal for this year is to get back to $1 million in GCI. All right, we're going to have to leave it off there, Mike. I want to thank you so much, first of all, for doing this interview with us. Give us your contact information one more time. Again, if you're in Chattanooga or in the greater Chattanooga area, give us that area you work in again.
Yeah, I'm in Chattanooga, northern Georgia, and also Cleveland, Tennessee. And you can reach me. You can just call me directly, 844-NOOGA home, NOOGA home, and it rings directly through to my phone number, to my cell phone.
And today we showed the PowerPoint slides for all the YouTube stuff that Mike is doing, and we're going to make that available. So in the comments below, you should see a link, and you're going to be able to download those PowerPoints. And then let us know in the comments if you would like Mike and I to do maybe some more in-depth training on what he's doing on YouTube. Remember, this is organic. It's not costing him anything. He's getting 2 or 3 sellers calling him every week saying, hey, come and get me. I'm ready to list my home. That's the beauty, as Mike mentioned, with YouTube. They feel like they know you. They like you. You're building trust and credibility with prospects through video on YouTube. So this is something everyone should be interested in. Mike's done the learning. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. If you're outside of Mike's working area, you're not in the greater Chattanooga area, and you would like to talk to me, okay, about my approach, okay, how I've helped tens of thousands of agents over the last 25 years, like Mike. My goal is to help you as a realtor have a better life in real estate. And that means having a business that provides you a really good income, but you don't have to sacrifice your entire lifestyle for the income. We never teach cold calling or door knocking or doing floor time or chasing FSBOs or expireds, or pretty much we never teach you to do all the things that we're taught in real estate school and all the things that most real estate agents, most real estate coaches are training. That does not exist in the Craig Proctor world. I would like to introduce you to a new, smart, modern marketing that enables you to do what Mike's done. It's his system. It doesn't matter whether Mike is in Naples, Florida, or Chattanooga, Tennessee. Heck, he could decide next year he wants to move in a completely different marketplace. Mike has the system. He has the know-how. He can just pick this up and recreate it anytime he wants. He knows the formula. If you would like to know the formula, book a call with me. That's how it started with Mike and I. It started with a conversation. He came to one of my conferences and says, hey, I think there's maybe more to this real estate thing than what I know. I'm glad that Mike decided to jump on a plane and fly to California. You don't have to jump on a plane and fly to California. All you have to do is go to the link below in the comments, proctorcall.com, and book yourself a call, a 45-minute call. We'll discuss your business. Like, where are you now? Where do you want to go? Well, you know where you want to go, right? Why aren't you doing it? If you know where you are and you know where you want to go, there's something holding you back. Let's talk about the things that are holding you back and how you can actually reach your goals using the Craig Proctor system. Again, the call with me is free, just like this interview, and I hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank Mike Burge very much for spending the last hour with us here and for all the work that you put into the presentation, and you graciously offered it. But more than that, I want to thank you for being a friend and being a loyal Craig Proctor system member over the years. Great guy, Mike Burge. Reach out, say hi to him. You can find him all over social media. Of course, you should check out what he's doing on YouTube. So that's it for today. Thanks again, Mike, for doing this. And
Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everybody, for watching the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. Take care. Have a